017. The Windward Planning Commission forwards a favorable recommendation to the Council regarding the Planning Director's request for a change of zone for approximately 312 acres of land that currently accommodates the main campus of the University of Hawaii at Hilo, its University Park of Science and Technology complex, as well as immediately surrounding lands under the management of the University of Hawaii. Reference Communication 411, introduced by Mr. Kern by request, first reading October 16, 2013.
Mr. Kern.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Move to approve Bill 122.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Kanuhag. Mr. Kern, did you want the floor, or who wants to go first?
I don't have anything to say on it. I support the project. If the applicant has anything to say,
Okay.
that's fine.
Mr. Onisho,
Thanks.
followed by Ms. Ford.
Can I have planning come back up or come up, please? You can introduce yourself.
Good morning again, members of the council. I'm Dwayne Kanuha, Planning Director.
Thank you, Mr. Director. I guess, hearing testimony, can you explain about why planning is in support of taking out that 85-foot easement, roadway easement?
Well, first of all, if you look at the plan for the area and that roadway, in our opinion, would be redundant because it would connect straight up to Komohana and actually go across Komohana and hook up someplace in Sunrise Ridge. Just a short, basically right now you have a stoplight at the top of, at Komohana and where the university complex goes there. And then your next stoplight is at Mohu'uli and Komohana. Well, this roadway would bisect those. There'd be another intersection, another stoplight within that short stretch of road, one. Functionally, we thought it was kind of redundant in terms of what future uses would go out of Komohana. Secondly, what it would do is it would bisect the expansion area for the campus as it moved in that direction. So those are the two basic reasons we
And I guess
asked it to be removed.
at the last reading, planning wasn't here. Only Mr. Yada was here, so he had to kind of explain that. And then, I explained to the council members was that, yeah, you have Mohu'uli already, and then now you're going to have this second road kind of like parallel, and it's going to go, I guess, connect to Ainoko Avenue or whatever, or to the junction up on the top. So it didn't make sense. And then above Komohana, that property is state property. Correct.
That's correct, yeah.
And I think the community college was looking at trying to develop that area. So then if we still had that right away, I mean, it's going to go right into their campus, right?
Correct,
So,
yeah.
And then I think the last thing is that by doing that intersection would be sight distance too, correct?
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Onishi. Ms. Ford.
Thank you. Well, I'm not going to support this, as I've stated before. Ms. Marks very accurately portrayed my concerns. Having been on many college campuses, both as a student and as a visitor, and being on this particular campus many times, it's a nightmare trying to get in and around that campus. It's a complete nightmare. My personal position is that we are not supposed to be planning for tomorrow. We're supposed to be planning for 15, 20 years out. And I see the removal of this road in its entirety, not just reducing the size of it, which is reasonable, removing it in its entirety or redesigning its exit on a campus is exactly what we shouldn't do. The whole purpose of a university district is to commercialize an area. And you can't commercialize an area if you can't get into it and get out of it safely, and that's what roads are supposed to do. I am very, very concerned about this. I just don't see this as a reasonable course of action. I think it's unfortunate planning, and I think in 15 to 20 years, you're going to have a big mess out there. But you know what? I don't live in Hilo, and I'm not going to have to put up with the mess. But people in Hilo and students are going to have to put up with this mess. It's just not right, in my opinion. So I'm not going to support this because of the road removal in its entirety. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ford. Ms. Eoff.
Mr.
The cause and effect is going to be there to necessitate whatever is going to be necessary to have flow of traffic, be it pedestrian, be it motor vehicle. If not, you're going to have build a university that doesn't make sense and that doesn't function. And I don't speak when
Hold on.
people are speaking. I don't make
Council
snide
members,
comments. and
please keep the
whatnot.
chatter down and have respect for whoever's talking. Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Kern.
Yeah, so the university does need work. It also needs money. That's what we're seeing coming in. Is we're seeing money, we're seeing planning, we're seeing that going on. And to me, if this was really that big of an issue, we should still be at committee going over it. It's not. The planning department agrees with it. The university agrees with it. It makes sense to me. And is there going to need to be more infrastructure put in? Absolutely. Is it our place to tell them how and where it's going to go in? I don't think so. So I support this. I think we should just move on. Thank you.
Okay, so I think we covered our first round of this. Oh no, Ms. Poindexter, did you want to say something?
I just said that I supported it in committee in the past, and I've come down, through where the astronomy center is. And I was okay with that, so I don't know, I didn't see any problem. I've been on that campus. I've taken classes there. I've been able to move around, and I've looked at their plans, and I'm okay with it. So, and I'm sure you'll have the final say, because is it in your district?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'd like to hear your point of view. Thank you.
Okay, we're still on first round of questions. Any other discussion? We're going to go to second round. Okay.
Would any of you folks know what the distance between Woolies intersection and the other, Noello? What is the distance? At the most, right? Or, at the most, like, what, quarter mile? Yeah, so then to put another intersection between a quarter mile, it just doesn't make sense. Thank you.
Okay. Any other discussion on second round? Mr. Lagan.
I'll make mine quick too. I just wanted to mention that right now, for me, I'll speak for myself. Right now, I don't see the vision. You are doing the prep work, and I trust the university. And the thing is, I guess the hardest part is to eliminate an option. We don't really understand what the reason is, what the vision is. So that's what I see it kind of complicate things. Until we know what the final product will be, we don't know why you're doing this. So that's my understanding. I know the fact that you're doing the prep work to get to where you want to be. And I know the university will be working with us to help us understand that. You're just really good at what you do, that you're so early in doing it. So that's what I see, and I will be supporting this project, and I would like to learn more on what you will prepare for the university and the vision of that campus.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lagan. Any further discussion on the second round? Mr. Yara?
I just want to say, obviously the university is not in the interest of putting together a badly planned university. That's why the reason we do our long-range plans. And secondly is, we view the university together with the county as a very valuable partnership. Over the last 20 years, I think the university has put in over $16 million of sewer lines, water lines, et cetera, basically in reaction to like EISs, EAs that were done for specific projects that indicated these things are needed. So the university tries to be responsible to address infrastructure, traffic, and those issues as we develop the campus, and we're required to do EISs and so forth, EAs for every single project. So there's that whole process that, sort of guides the development of the university. And so we appreciate the partnership we have with the county in looking at things that would help both the city as well as the university going forward.
Okay. Thank you. Ms. Willie, second round.
Yeah, I just want to say that I think where I'm coming from is what Councilmember Iligan expressed. I just don't have that clear vision, and so there is a certain leap of faith. Yes, we want to trust you and believe that's what you're doing, and it's just that in other circumstances where one would assume where the planning department allowed something that in my mind was totally illogical and just didn't look at any, further down, what is that planning, not just 5 years, but 10 years. And I think Director Kanua did express some concern. It wasn't something like, oh, no, I've checked this all out, this is fine. It did raise some red flags. So I do appreciate what you're saying, Councilmember Kern, but just it's sort of without seeing it, you're making that jump. It isn't sort of like a trust, but I think that what we try to do is just be able to see it, be able to see it and envision that. And I don't know, Director Kanua, if there's anything more that you could say to just sort of address that concern that I've said, or Councilmember Iligan and Ford said. Just
The interesting thing about this process right now is that the university itself is finalizing, their master plan. So perhaps Harry can give you an update of where that is. So it's like these two efforts, trying to dovetail with each other.
Yeah, I guess, the one thing I can say is because the university is a state institution, we're subject to Chapter 343 and all of the requirements. So it's not like this is your last opportunity or for the public or for anybody to review the plans and to have input. So it's a process. And so I guess what I'm trying to stress is this is not the end of input. This is not like you approve this and that's it. It's going to happen the way we want it and nobody's going to see it. So because we're a public institution, we're subject to Chapter 343, it's going to be a process for public input as well as county input in all the planning.
so are you saying that this could, right away, could be put back there at another time?
If the reaction to the master plan in the EA process, the county indicates that there's a need for another road somewhere, that can be commented at any point in that process.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, still in the second round. Any further comments, council members? No? If not, okay, I'm gonna close discussion. I'll just provide my input and then we're gonna go to the vote. Okay. The valid points, being brought up. When I looked at this issue, I recognized that we all want connector roads. We all do. But one of the things that stood out to me was that the distance between Moho'uli and Novella Street is fairly close. And I've been here long enough, lived here my whole life, where I've seen. I remember in Komahana didn't have any really stub-outs or extra streets, so it's added traffic because we have different buildings, whether it's Iniloa, the ag department, things like that. So those things, they come with changes, and that's perfect, understood. And I used to travel this road every single morning, rush hour, 7 to 8 a.m., so there is a lot of traffic. And having an additional connector road, it does really seem to be redundant at where it's indicated now. Now, if the Novella Street becomes the connector road, then that makes complete sense, right? Because then you're going to go of Mauka, continue down. I don't know where, where you can go below it, but it makes sense to do that. It makes sense for everyone involved, because I cannot see the university doing something that makes the problem worse, because it's in their interest to make it work, because they want students to have accessibility, to make it attractive. You're not some big fly-by-night organization. You're the state university, right? So it just makes sense that you would want to make it work, along with the county representatives and the community in and of itself. So, I acknowledge, there is traffic, extreme traffic, right? Adding another road where it's indicated now, that doesn't seem to make sense, just based on the location. Having another road through the planning process, that does make sense, and I think Novello is a logical place. It seems extremely wide, Mr. Yada. I mean, when I drive down that, and I drive it often too, it seems extremely wide. There's a lot of speed bumps. That's good, because people speed. The grade is kind of on a steeper angle there. But I do support the amendment, because I think it facilitates the process. Just want everyone to know that this is not the be-all, end-all to this issue. I mean, it's part of the planning process. And I think if along the way, as Mr. Yada said, if the master plan is such that they need to adjust the road, then they will. But no, this doesn't end today. This is a part of the planning process, and I think this helps them as a planning tool. So anyway, that's just my comments, Mr. Clerk.
Ms. Yap,
Aye.
Ms. Ford,
No?
Mr. Iligan,
Aye.
Mr. Kanuha,
Aye.
Mr. Kern,
Aye.
Mr. Onishi,
Aye.
Ms. Poindexter,
Aye.
Ms. Willie,
Aye.
Chair Shimono.
Aye.
Chair Shimono have 8 ayes and 1 no.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. So Bill 122 passes on second reading. Thank you, gentlemen. Okay, so council members, do we have any other requests before we take? Yes. Sorry, I lost the train of thought there.
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Onishi.
Time-wise,